Welcome back to Mini Punches, Episode 3, the supplementary show to Soft Punches podcast, the show where I interview people I find interesting. Thank you for viewing, watching, listening, and subscribing on whatever platform you're on. And today, I have a very special guest for you. She's an amazing new mother. She possesses a work ethic unmatched by that of a factory worker. And she's a prime real estate agent. Ladies and gentlemen, Kavanah.
Thank you for that.
How's it going, Kat?
Pretty good.
Well, that's great, because today I wanted to talk a little bit about real estate, a little bit about first-time motherhood, and then a few questions just on your family dynamic and your work ethic. And your work ethic.
Okay.
So the first one I have is, I think a lot of people are curious about this when they first kind of cross into that idea of career. Like, what is the minimum barrier to entry for the real estate market?
Well, first of all, the education. So you have to take like 6 different courses. You have about 2 years to finish it. And then that is your complete bare minimum. And just to preface it, I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to say this, but it was totally useless.
Yeah.
But the real estate industry updates consistently. Mm-hmm. So like a mutual friend of ours was taking that course, and I remember her telling me certain things, and I'm like, it's redundant now. Like it's not even put into practice anymore. It changed within a year. So that's the bare minimum. Yeah. And then on top of that, you want to keep up to date with all the market trends, pretty much all the new like bylaws that get put into place, or like your RICO rules and all of that, which is a lot. And that on top of it would be considered the bare minimum. Do you have
to keep up with your course at all?
Yes, you do. Yeah, so every 2 years they make you you choose different types of courses. It's a little bit more specialized for a very specific thing. So for instance, recently I had to do mine, and I chose like business analysis and like commercial, but even that isn't really specific enough. Like the course is mildly informative, but not really enough if you want to specialize.
Most of your learning is like on the job or personal, or what would you call that? Like personal research, not actually from the courses.
Yeah.
Because I did a little bit of the life insurance, and I found like even in that life insurance course, they're like, you're going to learn most of the stuff you need on the job. This is just the legislation to say that you're allowed to sell life insurance.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of similar on the real estate front?
Yeah, but like it's actually very similar to insurance, because like even in that industry, you can take courses that will help, like that actually help. They're like highly specialized, but you need the experience. So I really want to do the commercial one, but I need like 5+ years doing deals in commercial before I can really start that. Yeah. And that is where you can be like, yeah, I'm specialized. This is my niche.
Right. So you need 5 years of like active selling to specialize in something.
And well, like it really depends on what you want to specialize in. Commercial is just a little bit different. Like they expect you to have done multiple deals 4 or 5 years. Yeah. At least that's what it was about a year and a half ago when I was looking at it. That also could have changed. So don't quote me on the timeline, but yeah, pretty much. And that I would say is education, totally worth it. Mm. What you need is a minimum 2 years for sure, but the stuff that's going to help you, so
interesting. Yeah. The more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling now? A little more calm.
Yeah, because I'm talking to you. Like, now that I'm like not noticing the camera in the corner, I'm like, okay, this is easier.
My next question was, what's the biggest misconception about renting you commonly see, like the renters are wrong about?
Oh God. On whose side? The tenants?
Tenant side, yeah.
They think so. A landlord is required to upkeep the property a tenant is in, right? So, like for instance, if your stove breaks down, they need to replace it. Yeah. However, obviously, there can be issues, and some tenants are impatient, mostly because the landlords aren't responding within a timely manner, and so they'll think that they can buy a stove and then take it out of the price of their rent, which is totally not allowed. But so many people do it. So whenever that gets towards the LTB board, like the landlord-tenant board, or, sorry, I just heard Aurora.
That's okay.
Like when it gets to the landlord-tenant board, tenants are like, they have a very rude awakening because they find out, no, like you are entitled to the funds because it's not the tenant's job to pay for that. The landlord does have to like pay for it, but you can't take it out of your rent. Right, otherwise, you don't have the right anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't come off the rent. You just get reimbursed for the purchase of the stove, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I've definitely seen people talk about like, oh, I'll just won't pay that on my rent. And it's like, I feel like they exist in my mind in like different categories. Like you still have to pay your rent, but then you might get something for this. And it's not like, just because you're paying rent, it doesn't cover like the whole,
exactly.
You don't just get to pull it off the house rent because then that's going to affect your contract and everything like that, right?
Well, the only time I've ever seen a situation where that could have been okay is when in their text, like they actually provided me texts proof that they had spoken to the landlord. Like they're like, listen, you're taking too long to get this done. I need it. It's a stove that we're talking about. And the landlord said it's fine. And they basically were like, for the next rental installment, I'm just going to take it off of that. Because it was like the stove cost of rent, like basically a month and a half's worth of rent. Yeah. So they didn't pay for one and they took out the rest of it on the remaining one for the next month following. Yeah. And the landlord through texts said, okay. They then, of course, had an issue with it later, but like.
Just paper trail now.
Now there's a paper trail and you can kind of say it's like a verbal written contract, sort of, which works. But if you don't have that, it's like a no-no game.
Because I had a situation with my washing machine. Yeah. You know, it was like something was in it. There was the spuds in it or something, and it was constantly spooling and using more and more water. Yeah. And I had like, I had tracked like my hydro bills previously. Yeah. So I had a track of like a steady increase of each month. Yeah. And we put in maintenance requests at the previous building. We were ignored. They actually went so far as to like say the maintenance request was done. Yeah. But no one ever came to the apartment. And so we moved out and we just ended up not like, or we tried to get like that last month's move out, like we gave them 58 days notice instead of 60. 60, yeah. And then we just withheld like paying the, like, cause there was a little bit of like, like damage fee or what do you call that? Like wear and tear. Yes. There's a little bit of wear and tear like on the walls. When we did move out, everything was settled. And we just, from my understanding, like, withheld that money and didn't pay it because they just blatantly. Also, they came into our apartment when no one was there to give them entry and took photos of everything. That's not allowed, right? Like if a condo management board, was this a property run apartment or was this like a condo? It's a property management. Yeah. Okay, so. But I just wanted to ask, like, what if they do something like that? Can you withhold rent or can you withhold like that wear and tear? So you can't, not really. However. Your situation was very unique because did you provide like a damage deposit when you first went in? I honestly can't remember. I think so though. We probably did. Most times, at least for property management, a lot of times they'll ask for them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say most times because not everyone does it, but like they'll ask for those, and in that situation, they can just apply it to that because it's really hard to get your deposit. So back. Like we might have had a damage deposit that they're like, okay, keep your wear and tear charge. We're just gonna take the damage deposit. But they can't really charge you for wear and tear because wear and tear is literally what it says. It's wear and tear. Like as a landlord of any kind, you kind of just have to expect that the place is not going to look brand new like when you first bought it. Yeah. Right? Like you're living in it. Like even if they were living in it, there's going to be wear and tear. So you can't get charged for that. Oh, this one was bad though. I'm pulling some things off the walls. And like you put what? Like let me say, like those like lifting machines? It was like stickies and then tried to pull them off the wall and it pulled all the wallpaper like whoosh, big hole like big rips in the wall, it looked like. Okay. So it was wallpaper though? It was, well, I don't know if it was wallpaper, but it's some kind of like, it seemed like wall. Drywall with like a shell on it or something, but it pulled off like paint and some drywall. Okay. But yeah, it was like an obvious scuff in the wall where there was a sticky. Yeah. But the thing is, landlords are required to repaint apartments. Yeah. They don't, but they're supposed to. Like whenever you recycle through tenants, every single time they should be painting the apartment, just like they should also have it cleaned and ready for the next. Is that why there's like 70 layers of paint on all the doors in this building? Yes. And even still, they don't keep up with it properly. But yes. Yeah. When it's hot, our doors don't close. I don't know if you noticed that. No, because there's so much paint. There's so much paint. And when it's cold, they close though. I know. There was a time once where I actually had to like shoulder hit, like, when you're like, yeah, I have every time. Every time. If it's hot, I have to like body check my front door open. Yes. For that reason, yes. What's the process of getting something to sell to actually selling something from client acquisition to final sale?
Oh, that is...
Like, what's that process look like timeline-wise for you?
It really depends on when you want to list. So, for instance, we'll just like talk like a regular house for sale. You sit down with with the seller. You give them a whole heads up. So you want the marketing done. That's photos, videography. Then you need staging. You kind of want to give yourself a 2-week to 3-week buffer zone. Mm-hmm. And you also want to time it right. Like you want to like put it on the market at a really good time. So for instance,
just tilt that down a little bit. Just grab the top of it. Yeah.
Like this?
A little more, a little more, a little more.
Better?
Yeah, that should be good.
Okay.
Just more in line with your mouth and be clearer for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. So basically, I lost my train of thought. What
Sorry,
were we talking
a
about?
timeline from like client acquisition to the like final sale. What it looks like from like how you sell a property.
Okay, so you want to give yourself like a 3-week buffer zone because you have marketing you have to do, you have staging, like decluttering. It really depends on how bad and state of the house is, because sometimes you need to renovate or at least do minor renovations. Like painting. Painting is a big one. You definitely want to do that. Okay? But other than that, you want to time it with a really good time to list it. So, for instance, all agents have their own ideas on this, to be honest. It totally is dependent on them. But I find, like, seasonal markets, for instance, for a business that you want to sell or commercial, I tend to do them after your busy season. So if I'm listing a restaurant, for instance, I want that after the summer.
Yeah.
Just before you hit that like winter rush, because that gives them enough time to get everything set up the way they want to get into a really good spot. But also after like the busy spot, anyone who's in that industry will have the time to look, right? Because they're not busy. Yeah. For a house, I kind of like to follow the market trends. So if it's not really meant like, if it's not a seller's market or the area is not doing too well, you want to follow it. So if you see like it's had a bit of an uptick trend, then that's when it's like, okay, let's do it now. Yeah. Right. But you want to like have it ready. Give yourself some time, and you should be able to know that within a few days of looking at things. You can be like, yeah, this is going to go up a bit in the next few weeks. Have it ready in 3 weeks. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So you have to like, basically someone approaches you with a property or something, and then it goes right into like, you have like 3 weeks to study it, understand it, stage it. And then that 3-week time you kind of use to plan when you're going to post it for sale. Yes. Post it at a high like market area. And then from that point on, what's like the average turnaround, if you could give it an average, for like selling a house and a business? Because I know you do a lot of commercial.
Yeah. So right now, that totally depends on the market. Yeah. But like for right now anyways, condos, they're sitting on the market. It could be anywhere from like 2 days to 5 months. It's pretty bad for condos right now. For houses or like townhouses or any kind of thing like attached, they're doing much better. It also just depends on the neighborhood, but you would want to try and get that sold within 30 days. So a really well marketed, staged, like beautifully done up, aggressive on the selling point, I find that they go within 30 days still. Like it's, and even though the markets don't facilitate that, it still does. So if you take a look on realtor.ca, for instance, or you're like just scrolling on Google to find out what's going on, you can see like houses that are on the market versus the ones that aren't classically like going really fast. Totally different marketing. Yeah. A lot of effort put in. It's like clean, it's staged, it's set up and designed. Like money has been put into it to sell. Yeah. Whereas the other ones are sitting.
This is what the current household living room looks like.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like a 30 days for a properly staged and marketed house is the turnaround.
To be honest, like anything, I have to check the stats. I don't know what they are right now, but I would say last year, anything over 30 days is like you kind of want to terminate that listing and figure out what's wrong with it and relist it again, right? You don't want a residential property to be sitting on market longer than 30 days. Commercial is an entirely different ballgame, totally different. Course, yeah. But for that, it's because there is this, is it stigma? Is the word I'm looking? Like there's like this, I'm going to use the word stigma. I don't think it's the proper word, but where buyers are like, what's wrong with this place if it hasn't sold? Yeah. Right? Like when you're looking.
I think stigma's right. I think.
Okay. Let's hope so. Otherwise that doesn't sound smart, but oh well. Like basically, And that happens a lot when I'm dealing with buyers. Like, we'll go into a spot and it's been on the market for like 62 days. There's literally nothing wrong with it, but they'll be like, but why?
Why is it here for 60 days?
Yeah, like they're kind of like suspicious. They're like, where's the other shoe that's going to drop? It could be a whole number of things. Like the agent isn't really good at their job, or the sellers are very particular and refuse to negotiate, because you see that a lot in this market as well. And it has nothing to do with the property. But then now your buyers are like, but why? Like, it's, I don't know. And so they'll lean towards the pretty one, or the one that's only been recently listed, and one that kind of opens their imagination to the fact that they can picture themselves living there. Yeah. Which also is another reason why the ones that aren't staged well don't do as well.
Because people can't picture themselves living in there.
A lot of people are not like as creative as we think they are. Like they say they will be, and then they walk in, they're like, I don't really like this. It's like there was too much mess on the wall. I'm like, but that mess isn't going to be there when you buy it. Like, and even if it is, everything will be removed, right? It's not. Yeah. You're not taking the boxes with you, right?
You're not taking the family portrait over on the mantle. Yes. That's going to leave when you buy
the
place.
Exactly. So, yeah, you have to work with the market.
What's your method of getting clients? How do you make that sort of pipeline that drives clients to you?
So, referrals is a big one for me right now. Mostly agent referrals. I focus really, really heavily on making sure that the leads that have been given to me by other agents are happy with what I've done, because that reflects on that agent, right? So if for instance, a lot in commercial, most people, like, there's a lot of agents that don't do that. So they need like an agent that they can send leads to, and they need one that they can feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, I sent you to a good one. They're happy. I'm going to continue to do that. So that's one of them. It's like referrals through other agents. Referrals through other clients is another one. And networking. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit of an old schooler.
It's a lot of like word of mouth marketing, it seems like. For
me specifically, everyone is totally different, to be honest. Like, I've tried a lot of different things, especially in the beginning. I was getting nowhere. Like, I paid for ads. I did like a whole bunch of things. I might even do it again, but what worked for me the most was referrals and networking.
Yeah. Networking, I'm finding out, is a big one. Because I know, like, for this show and for other YouTube channels, it's all like you generate that pipeline through shorts and discoverability, and just making sure you're out there all the time for people to stumble across it. Yeah. But for something that's a lot more, like, important, like real estate, it's definitely, like, a lot of word of mouth, I think, leans a lot more. Yeah. It leans a lot more towards that, because just already, like, I just take, for example, like, if I see an ad, I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. But if someone gives me like a word of mouth already, I trust it.
Exactly.
So if you can generate that sort of word of mouth pipeline, I think that's just going to be the best thing for you in your favor.
Yeah. I would like to like branch out. Obviously, I would love to take advantage of social media, but that's definitely not my strong suit. But
no, it's fine.
Let's not lie. But, I will get there eventually, but that's definitely so far what's been the best for me.
That's all my questions on real estate.
Nice.
It's fun. Good answers. Now moving into the thing I really care about. Okay. Motherhood.
My new favorite.
What's something every father should do for a new mother in that first week of parenthood after the baby's born?
Oh, there's a few. Okay, just being there, to be honest. So...
Because I'll tell you, I don't know, we haven't watched the Aaron episode yet, but we'll watch it after this.
Okay.
And his advice was, and I thought it was hilarious, but also like it made a lot of sense. He's like, you just have to be comfortable with the fact that you're useless in that first week.
Well, yeah.
But his like point was, I don't want to say biologically, but his point was like on all technical aspects, you're useless. Where you're useful is being able to be there and support your partner in every physical way possible to make that connection between mom and baby the easiest it can be.
Yeah, and he's 100% right. So, like, I would say the first couple of weeks, what they don't really tell you is that first week or two, the hormonal drop after giving birth, probably, like, the craziest change in my body I've ever been through, including my pregnancy, which was not my favorite thing to go through, but, like, you could actively feel yourself. It's crazy. It's literally insane. Like, Riyadh was my rock. So I don't get overstimulated by a crowd of people, right? And I don't feel overwhelmed normally. I was feeling like all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
That first week. I needed like, and I would just feel calm and centered and like able to like go on when he was just in the vicinity, because I knew I could rely on him when I needed something.
Yeah.
So like my advice to you is to like just be there. So like, you know, like I would be like, I really needed hugs a lot. I wanted to be hugged while I was breastfeeding Aurora, just because it was like, sometimes they don't talk about the breastfeeding, especially in the beginning, because that was such a fear for me. But like, it's like this, you're getting touched too much. It's like you get over touched.
Yeah, yeah.
But for some reason, Riyadh cuddling me when I was feeding Aurora was actually giving me the opposite
Effect.
Yes. It was
I feel like, did it make it feel more like, I find like if I'm getting touched a lot, like, it sounds funny, but like if I'm just like, if people at work, for example, like it's a big crowd, I'm constantly getting bumped, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
But like a nice embrace from like a trusted partner, it feels almost like you double up the surface area of your body in a way. Like
I'm the opposite though. Like I don't really have like a low touch tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hugger in the first place, right? Like I pretty much hug everyone. So it was a new experience for me to be touched out, is what I'm going to call it. But in that entire setting, Rhea just being there and like hugging me when I needed it, or like just like I would cry randomly on the most, I can't even remember like what it was about, like, but I would be crying randomly over the most ridiculous things, and he would just be there like holding my hand and looking at me and like giving me like this, just loving me up basically, which is great because you can't have sex. So basically just knowing that you're still loved and you're still beautiful. Like you got to make Julia feel like a woman still, even when we've gone through it all.
It's really easy.
Yeah, it is.
It's really easy.
For you, yeah, definitely. But honestly, it's just that, like, just be present, be there, because I've seen a few of my friends have the opposite, and trust me, it's like, there's a big difference.
Oh yeah. I even like, I tell some people sometime and they're like, oh, like they get all nervous, and I'm like, it almost pisses me off when people get nervous for me.
No.
And I'm like, no, that's the wrong one. You're experiencing the wrong emotion. It's excitement. Change your face. Like
that's because they're not ready. Like they're feeling an emotion they would be going through if it was them.
And I think they put themselves in like my shoes a lot. And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it's like also though subverting that expectation where I'm just like, no man, I'm ready. Yeah. Everyone's like,
I find that men in general, like until they're in those shoes, a lot of times they're like,
whoa.
Yeah. So like, what? Yeah. It's very interesting. The reactions that and you, to be honest, like witnessing people react to like pregnancy is just it's fascinating. It's an interesting experience. But that's my advice to you.
Yeah.
Be present.
Being present.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great advice. Thank you. What's something every man should know about their partner when becoming parents for the first time? Like if you could, I know probably in that moment, and we might have covered it on the last point, but like if you could have just sat down with Riyadh and explained what was happening inside of you to your partner to give him a better image of like what is going on. And not, again, let me preface this. I'm not saying Riyadh didn't do an amazing job. I think he did. But I think just like if you could sit down and like laid it out scientifically for understanding, how would you have said it to him?
Like how I was feeling?
Yeah.
It was kind of similar I would say within the first month of her being alive. It was very similar to how I was feeling throughout my pregnancy, which was uncomfortable within my own body, which I've never felt before because I'm a pretty confident and comfortable person with
Even
myself.
just hearing you say that like is crazy because I think like Julia is very comfortable in her body.
Yeah.
And I think even now she's starting to say like it feels like someone's just like tss, tss,
it's
pump,
like
right. So that's really nice to hear, right?
I am a very confident person, right? Like it's not like I don't have body insecurities. I have other ones obviously, but my body's never been one of them. I've been pretty like comfortable in my own skin, and that one was difficult. And I think that was a little difficult for Riyadh to navigate too, because he was so used to knowing like that's not really how like I feel. So I was just, it's real. Like even now it's hard to put into words because it's like, I didn't look at myself and think I was ugly, but it was like, it was some weird feeling. I'm like, I just don't feel me. Like it's very weird.
If I took a stab, I think maybe like a stab at explaining it. I think like you might have covered it before when you like you mentioned that you were feeling overtouched.
Yeah.
I think maybe like your body goes from being sort of that source of like independence and that sort of source of sexiness.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, but it switches to being that like source of support and source of like life and food, which is beautiful in itself, but it's very different from like that like you know.
Yes,
like,
it's true. It is
and
true.
so I think now there's pressure. Now there's like you're breastfeeding. That's you have to do that. That's a lot of pressure on your body for your child, who you obviously love very much, right? I think that might have led to a little bit of that like feeling overtouched, because now it went from like oh, my body's my source of independence. Now it's like completely not. Now it's a source of life for my children and my family. So like now there's just that pressure
which
there.
I love. Don't get me wrong.
Like it's just a very new feeling, and maybe that's like overwhelming, and you're just like I just need a day to like not be like touched anymore. Like everything is in use.
I found like, so the touch feeling, to be honest, that went away, but there are some women who feel that throughout all of their breastfeeding experience. Like one of my closest friends was going through that. It was fascinating because it left kind of after a month for me. Like once I was really like getting comfortable, actually it was after the hospital experience with Aurora. So about 6-7 weeks in, once I figured out what the issue was with why she was like choking and all these other things, and I was more comfortable and like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Like having the doctors validate the fact that I'm not doing anything wrong in that sense made me feel really good. Yeah. Because up until that point, it's like, well, I hope this works.
You're just kind of like, here's your baby.
Yeah, it's like it's like, okay, well. So like that was very helpful in that sense. But I don't know, Riyadh, he had a way of kind of being perfect, to be honest. Yeah. Not to like, I'm not we're not going to show him this episode. Yeah, we're not showing him this episode. I don't want his ego to crazy, but no, like just in every sense of the word. Like for instance, at night, okay? Now, knock on wood, let's hope this doesn't change, but Aurora was great at night. Yeah. It was perfect. She really didn't wake up all that often. So I had a lot of sleep, but like in that time where she was waking up, especially when she was younger, to be fed, I was the feeding person. Riyadh was the diapers. So he woke up with me every time she needed to get up, changed her diaper, and then it was my turn. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's a struggle for him because he needs like consistent sleep. You've mentioned this a lot, that he's like he needs a minimum 5 hours, but it has to be straight. Yeah, like uninterrupted. He can function on like low, like 4 to 5 hours, but it needs to be uninterrupted. Otherwise, he's just like dead. Yeah. So he had a harder time acclimating to the newborn lifestyle. Yeah.
But he did it and he didn't complain.
No, right, exactly. You know? Like, so. You know, like there's a lot of people that'd be like, oh my gosh, like just do it yourself or things like that. And I'm like, I didn't have that with him. That wasn't an argument. But I will say, I love my man. But if I hear the words, I think she's hungry.
One more time.
It's like, no. She's always hungry, but that's not it. Like, because like when you can't figure out what's wrong with her, it's like, give her the boob.
Is she hungry?
Like, I think she's hungry. Like, no. But yeah.
Have you seen those boob mounts for men?
No.
You like sling it over your neck and it's like a bottle holder.
Yes. I was so tempted. I'm like,
I want one so bad.
I will say though, I found fascinating that Riyadh actually made a comment to me. He was jealous about the feeding. He wanted to feed her, himself too. Like he got because that was like a really special me and Aurora time, and he was feeling kind of left out of it. So I think now he's kind of like he's happy that I'm pumping and working again, so that way he has his own like little feeding time with Aurora.
I think that's what Aaron was getting at. He's like, dog, you're useless for the first 3 months.
Yeah, it's true in the like physical sense.
In the physical sense, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but like also to be fair, she's a complete daddy's girl.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What changed in you the moment you became a mother? I guess. So for me, I noticed the change like 2 weeks after the pregnancy. That's when I could really feel like a lot of my mentality switching. Yeah. So you could do like the moment you found out you were pregnant or the moment you actually like became a mother for the first time.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. It took a minute to sink in that I was pregnant. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, that
I know.
first trimester, I was so like exhausted, and I don't even know, like, head in the clouds. I don't even think that's the right way to describe it. Like,
Kat, in her first trimester, we were both working at the same bar, and every shift we were like, "Hey, you probably should not work here anymore because it's kind of a, it's a bar. There's a lot of things that happen." And we were standing there at like 6 p.m. on a Friday, and she fell asleep standing up on my shoulder.
yeah, that was the day I quit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, time to go. Like, yes, that, I think it finally like sunk into me on the second ultrasound, not the first one that kind of told me, yep, you're pregnant.
Well, that first one is just a dot. Like,
Yeah,
it's a little tiny little pea,
It's
and then
like
you go in like 6 weeks later, and now it's a human with hands and a
Yes.
head, and you're like, what the hell?
Yes. But the other thing is too, I wasn't showing up until like much later on.
Yeah.
So it, like, I didn't get the whole like cute bump photos, like that whole situation. So it took a minute.
You did kind of skip that whole, like, it seemed like you skipped your second trimester
Yeah.
in a way.
Like I honestly don't think it really sunk in until the end of the second trimester, beginning of the third trimester, because I was sleeping through the majority of it, and I wasn't really showing for much of it. And then once I did start showing, and like you felt the flutters and the kick, it was the movements. Once those movements came in, I was like, oh, you're so worth all the drama. like it was like, oh yay, I was more excited.
Yeah.
But up until then, I wasn't feeling it. But when I finally like sunk in, your priorities kind of shift. Like, don't get me wrong, family, like close friends, work is a big one for me. It matters, but it's like now I'm scheduling my life around this tiny little human, and I'm putting her into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, now she comes with me everywhere.
Oh, I know. Yep.
Some people are like unhappy about that, and I don't really care. Like,
some people can fuck
back
off.
Exactly. It's like, she's coming with me regardless. Like, I'm going to work because I enjoy what I do, and she's going to be my plus one.
Yeah.
If you find it unprofessional, that's on you. And like, I'm not the agent for you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm totally uncomfortable leaving her at 4 months now.
Which is crazy.
Alone with like anyone else other than like, her tios, like her uncle, or like Riyadh.
Yeah.
Or people I trust with my life, which is a very small list. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even less so for her. So she's just an addition.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed, like, you've never been how do I describe this? Like, the biggest change I've noticed in you is you've never been a selfish person, so don't take this as that. But you were definitely always, like, self-driven. Like, I don't know how to say this without sounding rude. You weren't selfish. You're always very caring and very giving, and like made sure everyone was taken care of over yourself. But before everything, like, it seemed like a lot of your motivation was for personal gain, which is a good thing to have. Yeah. But now it seems like every single motivation is for, like, not even family gain, specifically Aurora gain.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if it benefits Aurora, even if it doesn't benefit you or Riyadh, it's the right choice. Yeah. That's the biggest change I've seen, and it's really strong because you've always had such a strong personal growth strain in your body that now that you're putting that on your daughter, I think that's, it's admirable, and I think it's going to be very effective when she starts going towards that, like, school age. Yes. And starts getting up there. You're going to be that mom that sacrifices everything for her daughter.
It's actually funny you say that, because Julia kind of like gave me a little bit of a wake up call that I took, not that I took it too far, but like I focused, like, investments, for instance, right? Finances, like, we're getting our finances a bit in order, because obviously there was some struggles earlier on. Now much better situation, but I was really focusing on, like, opening up an RESP and like putting money away for Aurora. And Julia's like, remove the debt first, have an emergency fund, put your own investments away, because those will accumulate interest, and then 18 years from now you can just pay for college. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to take advantage of just the RESP. Like, it's great. She's like, obviously do it, but also think, like, basically gain for me doesn't necessarily mean not a gain for Aurora. Exactly. So that took me a sec. Like, that kind of was like, oh yeah, good point, actually. Okay, I'm gonna take a step back and then maybe look at the bigger picture, which I used to do more of. Now it was more.
Had the blinders on a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. Because she wasn't the only one who made that comment to me about the same things.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
You know,
take a
it's
step
funny.
back.
I've been in that exact same spot. I'm like, when can we open up an RESP? When can we do this? When can we do that? And she's like, why don't you get us? Like, why don't we get us
Up here
first?
Because that's also beneficial.
Because they're attached to us for 18 years.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we're at a nice level. And then once we're there, we can spend 4 or 5 years building their level up. Okay,
Exactly.
let's just take a step back.
and you know what? She's not wrong. I was like, okay, that's actually a good point. I'm gonna think about that.
No, she's a very
Because it's like, why put yourself in a more burdensome situation when you could actually help yourself, and then it's even better later on for her. I'm
Exactly.
like, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that. It's just like in my head, I was like, if I die tomorrow,
Yeah.
that's set up for her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I was really in that, like, what happens if something really bad happens to me and she doesn't have an education fund? Like,
Classic.
it's kind of like doomsday thought process. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take a step back. But yeah.
What's something you wish someone told you about becoming a mother? Like if someone sat you down and said something you wish someone sat you down and just told you one statement about becoming a mother for the first time.
Honestly, people were saying, and I just wasn't listening to it. So I wish I had truly heard how difficult it was going to be to incorporate her in my work life. She requires constant care and attention, which is like, you obviously, right? Like she's completely relying on you, which I love. There's no complaining on that whatsoever. But it took a minute to try and figure out how to be as productive or even more productive in my work life with her also.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So that still has been a mild bit of a struggle. And I kind of wish I prepped a little bit more for that. But now we're just taking it day by day, which is working for me. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But I definitely wish I had really listened to that first.
Yeah.
Honestly, another one too was, have you ever like heard about all those women that talk about their pregnancy in the sense that it's like, you're like, they're like puking rainbows?
Oh yeah.
I wish I didn't listen to that. Because I really wanted to be pregnant and I really, really wanted like a baby. Mm-hmm. And then when it did happen, I was like, what?
The fuck are these women we're talking about?
Yeah. It's like these liars. I was like, okay, no. So,
someone once described it as there's real pregnancy and then there's crossbody Lululemon bag and no paycheck pregnancy.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know who came up with that. Brilliant.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like keep myself humble and listen to the dads when they tell me, "Oh, you have no idea what you're fucking in for," because I know they're speaking from experience.
Yeah, but
and like they're saying it more of a sense of like, you sound like you're ready for a lot of work, but you don't know how much work is coming your way.
Riyad's not going to tell you that though.
No, he's fine.
Yeah, like he's very like take it day by day. He loves it. Like you're never going to hear like him say that to you anyways.
I've never heard him complain.
No.
I've heard him say, I could complain about this.
But I'm not going to.
I'm not gonna.
Because he's smart.
Yeah.
No. There was a lot of people who would be giving me advice.
Yeah.
And whether it was coming from a good place or not, I'm not going to like judge because people kind of like to put their 2 cents, especially on like pregnancies and children. Yeah. It's just kind of like they're like vomiting advice that you unsolicited most times. Some of it, like if you think that something that someone is saying is going to be helpful, I would listen to it. Otherwise, you do you, because fundamentally, you're an entirely different human being than whatever that person is telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why, like, for me, a lot of advice was going in one ear and out the other while I was pregnant, because it's like, I'm going to do me. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't really care. I'm going to do what's comfortable for me. And I think that's why I've kind of done so well on motherhood and been enjoying it or I haven't been as stressed because I'm getting advice left, right, and center, but I'm not really like, it's like, you know,
if something
that's
sticks,
interesting, but it's not what I'm doing.
If something has like weight and meaning and my brain picks up on it, then I'll keep it in there. But if not, I'm just going to.
It's like, thank you. And then I move on. Do you know what I mean? Like
Julie and I have had conversations about like different types, like around the friends. And some people are very calculated and very like on point. And you're very like it just comes very natural to you.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to emulate that a lot in a sense, you know?
It's
what works for us, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm like you where like I think it's very organic, it's a very biological thing. However, I am preparing and reading the literature and making sure I know all the technicalities, but in the everyday thing and how to handle the situations, that for me is a very natural thing. So.
Honestly, I found TikTok was my nemesis.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You were watching TikTok and the algorithm kept showing you all the like crazy baby shit.
Yes. Like I would have like random nightmares and then I would like speak to Eva or to Julia and then my TikTok would blow up with the worst situations ever and then it's like ugh. I tried not to over research. Actually, to be 100% honest with you, I didn't really research at all until after she was born. Like I just because people are giving you so much advice and I'm like to me I was like I had some prior experience raising kids, not mine. Like I had my little cousins, so I'm not going to say I was prepared to be a mom per se, but I just was like
you got your feet wet a little bit.
Yeah, I already had my feet wet and I was just like I'm just going to go with what feels good to me. And that's kind of how it went. If I was confused or if there was something that like I needed help on, I was talking to women I trusted, like Rad's mom, for instance, or my nonna, or even my dad. Like, and he's like, I don't remember. But I would trust him. Yeah, it's like I trusted him. Or even my brothers who don't know anything about babies, but they're like, because it's coming from a place of love. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're asking people you love and you know are going to give you something, at least advice, where it's not going to be harmful. Yeah. Whereas I don't
They're
really like
give you advice with you in mind and not themselves in mind.
Yeah, exactly, because they know me. So it's like people I'm talking to, it's like, what do you think I should do? And they'll be like, well, I know I can see you doing this, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, you're right.
That's great.
Yeah.
We didn't even have time for the work ethic and family dynamic questions. Do you know what time we're at?
No.
We're at like 45 minutes on the recording.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it's a good time because you're being summoned.
Nice.
Do you want to plug anything before we get out of here? Like your business, your website, anything like that?
How do I do that?
Look at the camera and tell them where to go.
Okay. Follow me at CatCat Realtor.
There you go. I'll see if I can tag it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Anyways, that's it for episode 3 of Mini Punches, a supplementary show to the Soft Punches podcast, and we'll see you next time with a new guest.